Hi, happy Tuesday. How are you doing? Dr. Laura Dabney here, relationship psychiatrist, talking to you this month about couples counseling. Sort of a vague topic I've found out from people, so I want to clear some of that up. But typically what I do is I help executive men with their relationship problems, but I'm coming to you today or in this forum as a way to help you with the emotional problem you've not been able to call somebody about. So if you've been afraid to pick up the phone or to write that email or get someone to help you with that problem, that emotional problem, I'm going to try to figure it out with you here until you're ready. Okay, so hopefully will speak to some of you because a lot of people ask me about couples counseling. There's a lot of misinformation about couples counseling. So I want to start with this kind of general idea. Last month, we talked about those of you who have stopped and realized, hey, I haven't had a lot of intimate relationships or not very satisfying relationships. Maybe I haven't had a lot of long-term intimate relationships, or I seem to go from one to the next, or they're all very tumultuous. Maybe I'm the common denominator, right? We talked about that last month. In the last week, which was last week of last month, it was talking about some individual therapy. So I just touched on individual therapy options for those of you who've maybe realized you haven't done the best with relationships. Okay, so that's also, we're talking now about couples counseling and how to get that help if you need it. But we have to start with a definition of a problem, right? We don't know how to get help if we don't understand the problem. So I like to say that all couples who come to me come with either one or two problems. That's it. We can boil it all down to one of two problems. Either you're doing something destructive or you're not controlling something that's happening that's destructive. Okay? So either you're causing the destruction or this destruction's coming at you and you're not controlling it. That's it. That's pretty much all of relationship problems in a nutshell. Okay? Let's drill down a little bit more. So what do I mean by either you're doing something destructive? Well, we can nail that down into two, or push that into two categories right there. Either you're doing something destructive to yourself. Here are some examples. Serious substance abuse, legal issues, overeating, not caring for yourself, something along those lines. Or you're being destructive towards somebody else. What does that look like? Criticizing, trying to control, manipulate, those kind of things. So you're either doing something destructive to yourself or you're doing something destructive to the other person. Both of those lead to relationship problems. Okay? So what do I mean by you're not containing a destructive pattern coming from somebody else? Well, that's either the destructive pattern is hurting you, criticizing, manipulating, right? Something like that, trying to change you, or they're hurting themselves. Same thing, substance abuse, legal issues, even pathological altruism fits in there, right? Because they're saying yes when they mean no, and they're not taking care of themselves, they take care of everybody else. Okay. So we went from two problems that are relationship problems to four right there. And that you pretty much put any problem that I've ever heard into one of those four baskets. Okay. So what, Dr. Dabney? Okay, so either I'm causing a problem or I'm not containing a problem. What can I do about it? I mean, what if I don't see the destructive problem? So that happens a lot. People are causing a destructive pattern. They may have some sense that they're causing it, but they but they may not know how to stop it. They may not fully understand it. Like, where is it coming from? They may not understand why it's a big deal. Well, it's not helpful, but I don't know why she makes such a big deal of it. I don't know why it's so important, right? Or someone's trying to control you. What do people say? I can't stop them. I can't change them. I can't change anybody. It's a helpless victim. All right, so there's a helpless victim stance. I can't change my behavior, or I can't change them. Those are two main problems that keep people from getting in to work out the relationship problem. Those are myths, right? I can't change me, and I can't change them. It's kind of true, and we'll get into the detail of that in a little bit. Okay. The other problem is you're either not talking about it at all, right? So no one's saying anything. So these destructive patterns are going on, but no one's saying, hey, wait a minute, this is not working. Or you continue to keep fighting about it, right? Just argue. I mean, people come in, they've been having the same argument for 5, 7, 10 years. Really? Because nobody's containing it. Okay, so it all comes down to controlling yourself or containing somebody else. I have a very dear friend actually who said to me once, how can you treat couples without the couple? And I said, what do you mean? Someone comes in and I help them and they're half the couple. So if I'm helping them, helping the couple. She says, but you don't know who's right and who's wrong until you've heard the other side. This is a very intelligent woman in a great relationship. I said, that's because there is no right and wrong. She was so perplexed. Maybe there's no right and wrong. We're all adults, except for, I guess, legal things. There's really no right or wrong. There's just things that don't work for you. Doesn't make them wrong or anything else. It doesn't make you wrong if you're doing something that hurts somebody else. It's just not working for the other person. So the fighting over who's right and who's wrong happens a lot and also keeps couples from working out their problems. You just get so distracted by who's right and wrong. It's an argument that goes on forever because there is no right and wrong. There is no judge that's going to come in and say, you shouldn't have worked that extra hour. That's wrong. I have people who come in, they do it in session. They want me to side with them. But what he's doing is wrong, right? It's wrong. It's wrong. Like, I hear it's bothering you. Let's work with that. Okay. So it's the right and wrong and the ones who clam up or fight about everything. Those are the two kind of personalities in relationships that I see, and it keeps them from going forward. So that's in general what we work out in couples therapy with the person alone. Okay, a lot of people call and they go, oh, I need couples counseling, but I can't because they won't come in. They'll never come in. They'll never come in. I have 2 answers for that. And you read this all the time in those columns in the newspaper, but people don't seem to understand. It doesn't matter. You come in. It's your part of that relationship. You can fix it. It's destructive patterns in the relationship. If you change the pattern, then the pattern changes. And if you've done something to change the pattern, it's going to get better. It's not going to get worse. That's other people say, well, I can't change it because it might get worse. It's the not changing it that makes it worse. Okay, I'll say that again. It's not trying to change the pattern that makes it worse. You know the pattern's destructive. You know whether you're causing it or someone else is causing it. You know it, but you're not making a change to see what happens. So it makes no sense. It's going like this. Some change, any change, is going to make it go some way. Now, maybe it won't make it go up, but at least you've tried something else. The idea is to keep trying something else until it rights itself. Okay? And then you find that, and then okay, I know what to do in that situation. You stop the pattern. You stop the destructive pattern. The other thing I recommend when somebody won't go with you is to say, either come in alone with telling your spouse or not. Doesn't typically matter, but if you've told your spouse and they're not coming and you've had sort of an ongoing discussion about this, you can also say, I made an appointment to go to couples counseling. It's on this date and this time. I hope you'll join us because we will be talking about you. So you've been upfront. You let them know we're going to be talking about you, and you've welcomed them. But otherwise, you're going to be talking about behind their backs. I mean, that's what's going to happen. So they've either said, okay, that's fine with me, or no, I don't really like that, and they're going to join you. I have never had anybody say that without the spouse showing up. Maybe not the first 1 or 2 sessions, but by the time the person goes home and has this new pattern, new way of behaving, the other spouse says, wow, I think I might come in and see what's going on here. So it usually ends up working. The other person comes in. But again, I've said this before, 3/4, maybe a little bit more, of my patients whom I help with their relationships come in alone. Either the spouse has said, no way, it's your problem, I'm not doing it, or they don't want to tell the spouse for whatever reason, or they've decided, you know what, I'm curious. I want to do this. I want to see what's going on because I think I've got a problem and I think I'm contributing to the pattern and I want to know how to change that. So relationship problems, you can come in alone and fix it yourself. I promise. Okay, so we're going to talk about all that in more detail. I do my typical 3 Instagram videos, so I'll nail down some of those points in the Instagram videos. Laura Dabney Com is how you find me there. Of course, if you have any questions or problems, you can call me, 757-340-8800. Email me, office@drldabney.com. I look forward to seeing you next week.